I want you to imagine that you're Joe. You're age 78 and you're retired. In fact, you've been retired for 15 years now and it's been great. But that little bit of superannuation you had is all but gone. And the usual things have taken chunks out of your retirement savings. A little bit of travel, just the general cost of living, helping out the kids, and they all live overseas now. So what would you do if you needed a hip replacement at 78? Now, you've made it to the front of the public hospital waiting list at last. After all, you couldn't afford to keep up your private health insurance. But it's the modified bathroom and that new ramp out the front and the potential 6 weeks of at-home nursing care that you're worried about affording. The subsidised government services are completely stretched and they don't offer what you want. And the government's been very clear that we need to age in place. That is, in our own home for as long as possible, and that nursing homes are for the very last stages of life. So what to do? Well, if, for instance, you are one of the 79% of retirees in Brisbane and up to 86% of retirees in Sydney who own their own home, your housing equity will make up by far the largest proportion of your wealth. My thesis proposes that there is untapped potential for housing equity to be withdrawn to relieve financial stress in later retirement. I plan to model a continuum of housing equity withdrawal options for a range of retiree circumstances, including the potential for new financial products. Some of the existing ways of turning your bricks and mortar into cash in retirement, such as reverse mortgages or even downsizing your home, don't necessarily fit the circumstances, the energy levels, the needs, or even the risk profile of Australian retirees. New products can also help take pressure off those government services that are needed for people who don't have any assets at all. But the new products need to be safe, such as being government-backed, and secure by having a supportive intermediary, and flexible by being readily traded. And why do we need this? Because right now in Australia, your risk of living in poverty if you're aged over 64 is already 35%. That's more than 1 in 3 of us, and it's much higher for singles. Poverty brings fear and humiliation and impossible choices. It hits hardest when you feel there's no way to work your way out of it. So it's not hard to imagine how compounded the effects of poverty could be in later retirement when you're struggling to make it to your own bathroom. In a country as proud and wealthy as Australia, you could be forgiven for thinking that enough is being done to avert poverty, particularly for the most vulnerable, and particularly when we know that 5.5 million baby boomers are starting to retire and that the greatest proportion of their wealth is in housing equity. But there's a lot more to be done, and it is urgent, and that is the focus of my PhD. After all, life is not just about how long it is, but also how good it is, with new ways of unlocking housing equity to improve the quality of life for older Australians. Now that is something we can all be proud of.